I didn't mean to see her. That's the part I keep replaying in my head. Like maybe if I say it enough, it'll erase what happened next. It was just another late evening. My daughter, Lily, had finally fallen asleep on the couch with her favorite blanket, the one with the faded stars. The apartment was quiet, in that fragile way it only gets when the world outside keeps moving, but inside, everything pauses. I remember thinking I should get up, carry her to bed, wash the dishes, be responsible. Instead, I just sat there for a moment watching her breathe. Being a single dad isn't loud like people think. It's quiet. It's the kind of quiet where every decision echoes because there's no one else to catch it if it falls. That's when I heard the noise upstairs. A soft thud, then something like footsteps, uneven, rushed. I frowned. The apartment above mine had been empty for weeks. Too expensive for most people in this building. Definitely too expensive for someone like me. At first I ignored it. But then I heard something else. A voice. A woman's voice. Not talking. Not on the phone. Just a small sound, like pain. That's what got me up. I told myself I was just being a good neighbor. That's all. I stepped into the hallway, the old wooden floor creaking under my weight. The building smelled faintly of dust and something metallic like old pipes. The door upstairs wasn't fully closed. It was just slightly open, enough for light to spill into the dark hallway. I hesitated. I should have knocked. I know that now. But in that moment something felt off urgent, so I pushed the door open just a little more. And that's when everything changed. She was standing there, near the bed, her back partially turned to me. She had just slipped out of a dress that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Her skin caught the soft golden light, and for a split second, my brain didn't even process what I was seeing. Then it did, and I froze. I wasn't supposed to be there. She turned. Our eyes met, and the world didn't just stop. It collapsed. There was no scream, no immediate reaction, just silence, the kind that feels heavy, dangerous. I'm sorry, I said instantly, stepping back. My hands raised like that would somehow undo the moment. I thought. She didn't cover herself the way most people would. Instead, she grabbed the nearest shirt and slipped it on. Her movements quick but controlled. Her eyes never left mine. Sharp, observant, calculating. You walked into my apartment, she said, her voice calm, too calm. The door was open, I stammered. I heard something. I thought someone was hurt. Something shifted in her expression then. Not softness, not yet, but something less guarded. She studied me. Then quietly, you have a kid. It wasn't a question. I blinked. Yeah, Lily, she's asleep downstairs. She nodded slowly like she was filing that away. For a moment, I thought she was going to call security, or the police, or just tell me to get out and never come back. Instead, she walked past me, barefoot, confident, like the entire world belonged to her. Close the door, she said. I did. I don't know why I did. Maybe it was the way she said it. Maybe it was because something about her didn't feel dangerous, just powerful. She sat on the edge of the bed, running a hand through her hair, exhaling like she'd been holding something in all day. You're not a thief, she said after a moment. No, I replied quickly. Definitely not. You're not here to take advantage of anything. No. Another pause. Then she looked at me again, and this time her eyes were different. Tired? Then sit down, she said. I hesitated. But I sat, because somehow walking out felt harder than staying. I'm Marcus, I said. I know, she replied. That caught me off guard. You know. She gave a faint smile, the first real crack in her composed exterior. I know everyone who lives in this building. Why? Because I own it. And just like that, the ground shifted beneath me again. You're the landlord. She shook her head slightly. Not just this building. It took me a second. Then it hit me. I'd seen her before. Not in person. On screens, articles, business channels I never really paid attention to. Her name carried weight, money, power, influence. A billionaire. And I had just walked into her room at the worst possible moment. I'm really sorry, I said again, quieter this time. She waved it off. You already said that. Silence settled between us again. But this time it wasn't heavy. It was curious. Why didn't you scream? I asked before I could stop myself. She tilted her head slightly. Because you looked more scared than I was. I let out a breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. That's fair. She studied me again, like she was trying to understand something deeper than the situation. Why didn't you leave? She asked. I thought about it, about Lily sleeping downstairs, about the way this woman who had everything still looked like she was carrying something invisible on her shoulders. I don't know, I admitted. You didn't seem like you wanted me to. That made her smile again, but this time it was softer. Real. Most people want something from me, she said quietly. Money, connections, power. I don't, I replied. I know. Another pause. Then, almost like it slipped out of her, she said, I heard your daughter laughing earlier. That surprised me. She laughs a lot, I said, even when she shouldn't. She sounds happy. I nodded. I try. Something in her expression changed again. Not envy. Something deeper. Do you know what it's like, she said slowly, to have everything and still feel like you missed the only thing that matters? I didn't answer right away, because I did know. In a different way. I lost my wife 3 years ago, I said. Her eyes softened instantly. I'm sorry. Yeah, I whispered. Me too. We sat there. Two strangers from completely different worlds, connected by something neither of us had expected. Loss. Silence filled the room again, but this time it felt human, not awkward. Not tense. Just real. I don't even remember the last time I sat down and talked to someone like this, she admitted. Someone who accidentally walks into your room? I joked lightly. She laughed, and it changed everything, because suddenly she wasn't just a billionaire. She was just a woman, tired human, searching. Stay, she said after a moment. I hesitated again. Just for a little while, she added. No expectations. I thought about leaving, about going back downstairs, but something told me this moment mattered. So I stayed. We talked, not about money, not about business, about life, about fear, about the quiet spaces people don't talk about. And somewhere between the words, something shifted. Not romance, not yet, something deeper. Understanding. When I finally stood up to leave, hours had passed. I should get back, I said. My daughter, she's safe, she said softly. You're a good father. I nodded. Good night, I added. Marcus, she said before I reached the door. I turned. Thank you. For not treating me like the rest of the world does. I gave a small smile. Thank you. For not calling security. She laughed again. And I left. But that wasn't the end. It was the beginning. Because the next morning everything changed. For both of us. And it all started with one accidental moment that neither of us could take back. And neither of us ever wanted to.